Welcome, my dear astrology friends. Welcome to a new video about the eclipses, the eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees of Pisces, around and about the 17th, 18th of September of 2024. This is specifically about this eclipse. Where is it falling in your chart? So I'm going to do the introduction in general, and then for each and every sign of the 12 signs, I'm going to have a look where this eclipse is falling, and so on and so on. First and foremost, we always have a look at where this eclipse belongs to, or to the Taurus family. What kind of energy is it initially, before we plot it into 2024? And when we do that, this eclipse is belonging to the Taurus 8 South energy. And the Taurus 8 South has the energy of, don't freak out now, don't freak out. Freak out! You know the song? It's about separation and loss. Now, that's in general. This energy of separation and loss. Of course, no one likes that, or most people don't. But it's a part of life. It's a part of life that we lose energy and we get energy. We lose certain things in life that are no longer needed, although we might say otherwise. It's like the universe knows. And then we go for new things in life as well. It's a lot about that, you could say, karmic energy of the flavor of this Saros cycle, where this eclipse belongs to. This is a bit of a, you could say, a sneak preview of the eclipses that are going to happen in Pisces and in Virgo. You're going to see that more next year, because it's very confusing for people who are starting astrology or are interested in astrology. They say, but Veerle, we are still on the 2nd of October, after that eclipse of the 18th of September. 16th of September is my birthday, but anyway. I'm just laughing here. I'm just really, really laughing here. It's serious stuff. It's serious stuff. These eclipses are serious stuff, and I try not to laugh. But hey, that's life. Now, the 18th of September, this eclipse is in Pisces, and then we have another one on the 2nd of October, and that has to do with the axis of Aries and Libra. How come? How come? A lot of people don't understand this, but the thing is that, yes, the nodes are still in Aries and Libra. Don't forget that. They are still in Aries and Libra, but they are at the very beginning of Aries and Libra. It's around about 6 degrees of Aries, where the North Node is, and 6 degrees of Libra, where the South Node is. And because the Sun and the Moon, that full moon that we're having, because it's a lunar eclipse, is at the very end of Virgo. So that's why they still see it as an eclipse, although the Sun and the Moon are like a couple of degrees away from those nodes. They are already saying it's in Pisces and it's in Virgo. So actually what I'm trying to say here is that this is definitely an eclipse in Pisces. Don't forget that. So this is definitely the Pisces energy. Now, when we are having this eclipse Saros cycle, that is about separation and loss, and then we have that full moon in Pisces, which is always around this time of the year. We always have a full moon in Pisces. It's like a double whammy of letting go. Because Pisces as well is a very karmic sign. And in that respect, that it represents the 12th house, it represents the ending of cycles. It represents going back to source, if you like. So we see here a lot of energy that is very strongly, how would I say, in nature. So it's like you don't mess with nature. You don't mess with the moon in Pisces at 25 degrees, opposing the sun in Virgo at 25 degrees. But the moon always in Pisces highlights a letting go of something. And not in a way that it is like Uranus, like all of a sudden, and you didn't know, and you didn't expect it, and you expect the unexpected, and oh my goodness, no. It's like, yeah, it's a natural flow. It's a natural flow. It's like, for instance, a woman that gives birth to a child, there is a death there happening for sure with that woman, because she's no longer alone, you could say. And she's no longer there taking care of herself, right? So that is a new identity. That is a new way of living. That is a new way of showing up. And that's very natural when a woman turns into a mom. It's very natural. So it is with these eclipses. So I don't want you to, I mean, a lot of people say I'm a positive reader. Yes, there's no use of saying, oh, this is bad, and da, 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 da. But I'm not an exaggerated positive reader in a way that I'm putting my head in the sand either. It's about seeing things in a neutral way, in a natural way. In a way we do that, we accept life better. And don't think that I think is so easy because I'm giving that message. No, everyone, when you're a human being, there are losses and things that need to go that we don't like. And sometimes we really, really like. You know, again, to that example of the woman, she might really not like her life anymore, that it's all around her, for instance. Or it might be some women might feel a big separation, big loss, and they grieve because it's not all about them anymore. You see, it's for everyone different because everyone has a different perspective. So we are seeing here 2 times already, very natural way of letting go. That's also, it sounds like another planet, right? It sounds like Neptune. And that is the triple whammy that we're having. I don't know if that is English, but anyway, I say that quite a lot, don't I? Double whammy, triple whammy, quadruple, or how do you say that? But why is that? Pisces is, of course, already a sign that has to do with letting go, that has to do with go with the flow, that has to do with if you are in the flow, things come more natural to you and go naturally away that were meant to be. And it's more like you are an element of the whole and you're not resisting that much. So it is with Neptune. And Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. And guess what? This full moon is next to Neptune. So it's what we call a moon conjunct Neptune. It's a conjunction of the moon of 25 degrees of Pisces next to Neptune at 28, almost 29 degrees of Pisces. So it's a moon Neptune. So it's 3 times here the message of let go what needs to go, let go what you feel is natural so that new stuff can come into your life, for sure, in a natural way. Remember, now here in Belgium, it is, it's still very hot today. It's a warm day today, but I think it's going to be the long, you kind of feel it, in nature, you don't have to be a woo, 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 whooshy, 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 whooshy. You kind of feel it like autumn is coming. Autumn is coming. It's really in this part of the world in Belgium, although it's like 27 degrees Celsius today, which is hot for Belgium. And but you're feeling it, it's autumn, the flowers, they are falling down from the trees, they're the beautiful flowers are falling down all at once. Nature is just preparing for autumn, and it's not bad, it's not good, it's neutral, but it's the natural flow, not flaw, but flow. But what I'm trying to say here is that when you're seeing in your life, and I'm going to point it out to us where this is happening, this moon in Pisces, it's a very significant, very, no nonsense kind of natural, raw, full moon. And it's a very natural one, flowing one, emotional one as well. I think also of a lot of, release. It's a good time to cry, for instance. It might be a strange thing to say, but just to cry it all out, to have all that tension in your body and just to cry if you have to, or if you want to, or taking your kids for swimming. The water element is so important because that helps, doesn't it? Water, when you're in water or around water, it calms. Everyone who's been in the water or on a boat or whatever, it gives you that calming effect. And it gives you that effect of, I'm an element of the whole and I'm not going to resist here so much. So my advice with this full moon is to tap into that energy, to let go. As much as you say don't like it, you might not like it. And some of you will like it, what is letting go. Maybe you having this in the 4th house of your home and you're selling a home. That's also saying goodbye, a natural flow. You're buying a new home. So it's not all doom and gloom. So see it as something positive, because when you are wiring yourself of seeing it in a positive way, 99% it's going to happen more positive. So that's why I think it's so important to give these positive messages. So don't really, if you're going to resist, then it's going to become very, very, how would you say, confusing, because the opposite of this energy. So the good thing of this energy, and I don't care what you read in the books of the Neptune and so on, this is just my message. And of doing astrology so many years, when I'm seeing this in a chart, I know that people will release, and they will. And the more in that moment, around the 18th, the better. A lot of course, that release will come through events as well. Because eclipses, they are like, oh, let's get her or him back to track, back to do his or her karmic road. I see that a bit like eclipse time. It's a bit fated, right? We have a lot of power, don't forget that. But eclipses, it's like, oh, let's get her back on the road here. And that energy, I think, there will be a lot of events happening for people in their lives that were riddled with confusions and illusions and so on, because that's the negative, or you could say the challenging side of Neptune and of Pisces. It's not knowing. It's being insecure. It's like, oh, where are we going? What's going on? I don't know. It's like driving in the mist, right? When you're driving in the mist, you don't know where you're heading. It's not nice. No one likes that, unless you are an exception, and those they do exist, those exceptions. But when you're driving in the mist and you have no sight at all, the worst thing you can do is panic, right? The best thing you could do is slow down. At least slow down. You're not going to accelerate and put your car into sport button, or those sports cars, they have a sport button, don't they? Or to accelerate. You're not going to do that when you're driving in the mist. I hope you won't. So you're going to slow down. You don't have to stand still completely, because that's also really, really frightening, but you just slow down and you are alert and you are using your senses and being. This is about the more you are and the less you do, the better. Of course, I'm not saying here don't do anything, sit in the couch whilst your toddler is putting their fingers in the electricity. Don't get me wrong here. Be normal. I would say be normal, but what is normal? But use your common sense. That's what I'm trying to say here. But be in the energy. Be in the energy of letting go. Be in the energy of I allow it. What's coming, I trust. Neptune, when we're having heavy Neptune transits, we are challenged to trust. To trust what the universe has to offer or not to offer. To trust that is the best for not only me, but for everyone concerned. It's very Neptunian. It's very You're an element of the whole, and we're all one, but not in a way like blah blah blah. We're all one and love and peace and what not. Yes, but also with like, hey, I'm in the 3D world. Remember, the sun is in Virgo, and guess what? So, although you could say this is a triple whammy of letting go and separation and endings and cycles that are ending and no resistance. And it makes me think of the Tai Chi, right? Where you just go with the flow when you're just doing all those strange movements. I used to do that when I was at university. I did that 1 year. Me being a Virgo, I didn't know what was happening. It wasn't easy. That's because I'm a Virgo. But it's not about me here. It's about letting go and let God. That is the mantra of this eclipse. And it squares up the ruler of this eclipse, which is the ancient ruler is Jupiter, because the moon is in Pisces. The ancient ruler is Jupiter. And it's squaring up to this. So it's making a T-square to the sun and to the moon. So this shows like the extra emotion. So we could get very emotional, or other people around us. It depends on where this is falling in your chart, that this could be a very emotional time. But not in a bad way. It's in a way of releasing the emotion so that it's out of the body, so that you're not getting sick and that you can go through it. It's like a child, they fall down, they cry, and hopefully you're a parent who's not saying, oh, it's nothing. You just give space for the crying, and then it's done, and then off they go and they play again. It's like, don't skip the part of the crying. Don't skip the part of the letting the emotion getting out there, because therefore it's a very good time now. It's a very good time to do release therapies or whatever, or all of these things where old bottled energy just flows, because that's what we are here to do. We're here to flow, not to be stuck and stagnant and not knowing where to go and holding on to something that is no longer for us, that is already dead. So next to that as well, we're having those nodes, of course. So we're having the South node at the beginning of Libra, but very close to the sun in Virgo. So it's the South node with the sun. And the South node represents letting go of something. So what do we need to let go of? An old identity. It's very clear. It's very simple. An old part of our identity. Remember the example I gave of the woman becoming a mom. She's not going to be the same woman anymore. Never ever in her life. Never ever. She's changed. Her identity has changed forever. She will always be a mom. Always. So it's that kind of energy. It's like you lose something, but of course there's something new there. And because energy always is around us. And we can't just be vacuum, living in vacuum. That's, I hope again, if that is a word. And then that moon is with the North node, which means because a couple of days, let's say the day after this eclipse, the moon will be in Aries, and then touching that North node, which shows directly new stuff, directly new beginnings, directly pioneering energy, directly courage. Use it, and use it for new beginnings. Use it for that Aries area in your life where you want to renew things, because that's what this eclipse is all about. It removes things in order for you to give new things that is aligned. And again, I'm stressing here that this is not about something that, this is out of the blue. It's not out of the blue. It's something that's natural. It's something that you know. If you know, for instance, this is happening, for instance, in your 7th house of relationships, this moon. And then you're knowing that a relationship is a love relationship, for instance. You've been working on and it's not working and it's ending, and you know it. It's the natural state. It's done. But then it means directly you have that new moon you have that moon in Aries with the North Node in the 8th house following after this eclipse. It means, look, intimacy, truthfulness, realness, and tackling those fears and ready for new relationships that are going to be way better. That's the energy. It's very powerful energy. It's a very natural energy. And what is stronger than nature? I mean, we can think we are stronger than nature, but ultimately, it's a very beautiful energy in itself. Now, but it's a very strong one. And another thing I want to mention is that it's a very serious one. That's why I probably laugh here and there, because it's so serious. It's serious, serious business. And why is that? Because it shows in the chart of that day of the 18th of September, we're going to have Mercury opposing Saturn, which is serious business. Mercury in Virgo, going direct and going fast and analyzing and being precise and knowing what to say and what to do and so on. And it opposes Saturn in Pisces. So this is meaning serious conversations that we're going to have. Truths are going to be, this is reality. And so a lot of this energy, welcome this energy. Why? Because it's going to give you clarity after a long period of time of unclarity, especially with this, in the beginning of the eclipse and towards this eclipse. That is why I'm recording this quite early. I know I'm recording this on the new moon in Virgo, which is just a video about the new moon, and I'm already here with another video about the full moon. But I'm doing this because it's the time before that is restless. And so be aware that before this eclipse, just gonna be like energy of, I don't know what's going on, and this and that, and truths will come out here and there because this Mercury is going direct, and after the 12th. After the 12th, it's out of its shadow. Then it really, really starts with serious business and truths coming out and reality checks for sure. So let's have now a quick look at but on the other hand, watch this video with the September video. It's going to give you more, a bit of a ultimate, what all is going on here. But there's also grandeur trine going on. And I explained that in the September videos. And that is around the 16th of September up until the 23rd of September. It's not all doom and gloom. It means that we have stability with the sun trining Uranus, trining Pluto back into Capricorn. So we have stability, notwithstanding the fact we are like, these truths are coming out and we're getting out of insecurities and we're seeing and things are shifting. Naturally, we are solid as a rock, which is another song, isn't it? Who wrote that song? I don't know. But anyways, let's go very quickly now. I'm not going to do too long, just pointing where it is the area of your life where you have that letting go, where it is good for you to just, let God in. Let go and let God. For Aries, this is your 12th house. So the 12th house is old patterns. So for you, Aries people, it is the best around this time, if you can, of course, to kind of healthy escape. I mean, healthy escape because a lot of people think the 12th house is to its detriment and it's always escaping into negativities of alcohol and of drugs and whatever. No, it can be a healthy escape as well. That is not so bad for your health, in other words. It can rejuvenate and reloading the batteries. That's my advice for Aries people around that time. Go, if you can, on a trip or go far away to a nice hotel with your loved one or alone. Maybe even better. Maybe even better. If you're single, alone. If you're not, do it with a loved one. Do it as you like it. You're Aries. You do it your way. And letting go of those old patterns that are no longer suiting you. A part of you is dying when it comes to an old way of doing your routines and your habits. Taurians, the 11th house. This is about letting go of a goal that is no longer good for you. A goal that you had in your life and that is no longer suiting you. A friend or friends or a group of friends that is no longer you, that is no longer representing you. Let go of it. Let it go. And it's not that these friends are bad or you are bad. No, it's just not aligned anymore. That's the energy. And a part of how you dealt with your enjoyment and how you dealt with having fun, how you dealt with giving time to yourself, there's a new identity shifting there. Geminis, this is work. For a lot of you, career and work. There's something that needs to go, that needs to transform, that needs to, not transform, it's more like letting go of. I say but it's about, let it naturally, let it go. And part of your identity of who you are and who you thought you were on an emotional level is also done. For some of you, people who are saying, hey, Veerle, I don't work, I'm 72, I'm not working. People, I used that example in another video and people thought that I was 72. Duh. Come on. I know I look younger, but not that younger, right? Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is if you're not working, this is about how you want the world to see you. There's something that needs to let go. It's a second ascendant, the 10th house. And it could be also a connection with a parent, because this is the axis of the parents. They're shifting something. It's a natural thing. They're shifting, like you could be just finished college and working, and your relationship with your parent shifts, in a natural way. It's that kind of energy. Cancerians, the 9th house. The 9th house is your mindset, what you believe in life. There's a belief that needs to go. It's naturally done. A belief that you have in your life that is very significant for the way that you live your life. It's old. It's out fashioned. It's done. Maybe you always believed in a certain thing and now you don't believe in that anymore. Or the other way around. So a belief system can go so many ways. But it's not just here like believing a small thing. It's a big thing. It's your lifestyle as well. How you believe in something, how you think that things are important for you, how you are a part of the whole, your connection with the divine, God if you like, or if you don't want to mention God, nature, your contribution to that, the way that you think, and the old way of doing of your relationships in the neighborhood with siblings, the contacts that you're doing quickly, the conversations that you're having very quickly, the thoughts or the trips that you're taking. There's something that is ending here, so that you have just a new way of how you see your life. This is huge, but it's a very positive eclipse for you. Why? Because you are a Cancerian, that is a water sign, and Pisces is also water. So this is a beautiful energy. Leo, this is happening in your 8th house. Now talking about letting go and let God, but it's also the house of transformation. So here that theme of dying and getting born again is definitely on here. And it's a metaphysical house. Yes, it's also a financial house. So there could be some endings going on and new beginnings when it comes to, especially not your resources, but the resources that you share with someone else, or the loans, inheritances, tax returns, investments, and so on. So there is like this renewal here. And at the psychological level, it's about a letting go of an old fear, letting go of an imaginative fear. And that is freeing up, isn't it? That is freeing up, dear Leos. That is freeing up for you, the 8th house. Virgo, everything I said applies to you when it comes to your relationships. Why? Because it's your 7th house. I used the example in the introduction, which is for the Virgo rising. Right? And also to a lesser extent, the sun in Virgo or the moon in Virgo. But you're going to have that in your relationship sector. So someone is going to reveal themselves, whether you are single or not. There's a person, it's in your face. And it's especially someone that you've been very unclear about, because it's with Neptune and it's Pisces and whatnot. And things are becoming very clear. And I know that most Virgos, they like that. Even if the outcome is not in their favor, they like the truth and they like to know what's going on. So welcome this, because it's, for better or for worse, it's actually in everyone's favor, everyone concerned, on the highest level, of course. Now, on another level, this is about endings of relationships, but this could also mean an ending of clients, an ending of and a new beginning. So an old way of how you present yourself, because of the sun in your sign, you're going to do this in a new way, and you're going to attract new clients. And so it's not really, for you, it's a lot about how are you versus someone else, and your mirroring, your reflection. The more you shed of old skin, of old identity, the better. Because new people are going to reflect you. And the harder you worked on yourself, the more you're going to see the fruits of that. People that align with you more. And people that will come in with more intimacy, more realness, which is fantastic. Librans, this is happening in your 6th house of your day-to-day life, your work, and so on. So for you, it's in your day-to-day routines to let go of something that is natural. Let it go. A certain way of you doing your job, a certain way of you doing your work. Maybe a new job is coming in for you. And it's a lot about that balance also with, do you relax? And how much do you relax every single day? Is it only 2 minutes or 20 minutes? Or even more or less. So it's that restoration of that, and in a very, very positive way. This could mean a disease and you didn't know what was going on, and now with this eclipse, the clarity comes, and that is a relief. So I hope for those of you who are struggling with their health, that this is like, yeah, I know what's going on, and off you go. You have that new, fresh start. You are guided towards your road again. Because when we are in La La Land and we don't know what's going on, it's terrible. No one likes that. So work, your health, your routines, that's the most significant one for the Libran. Scorpio, you are a fellow water sign. So this is good. This is good. Pisces, Scorpio, fellow water signs. And this is happening in your 5th house. So there's something there in the 5th house that has to do with love. Love, it's the love chakra, the 5th house. That is done. That is no longer soothing you. That is, and if you're not in a relationship or you're not dating or whatnot, it's simply an attitude that you're leaving. Maybe the old way of how you see love, it's not for you anymore. Maybe you always thought that love you had to chase. You had to chase love. And now you're saying, no, I don't have to chase love. I just have to be who I am, and the right people will appear. Because otherwise I'm going to lose energy towards trying to chase people that are not really meant for me in the first place. It's that kind of energy. It's also the house of children. So there could be a child having naturally a new phase, like maybe first time going to school, first time going to college, whatever. There's a new phase in the world of your child. It can mean also a project that is ending, a business that is ending, and it's a natural state, and you let go of that. An old way of enjoying yourself, you're letting it go. Sagittarians, very meaningful, because this is, you're a fellow mutable sign, and this is happening in the other mutable signs of Virgo and Pisces. So you're feeling this very strongly, especially if you've got planets around 25 degrees of Sag. You're going to feel it. It's at the core of your horoscope. So for you, it can be literally a home, so that you're selling and buying a new home. But it can also mean it's like, really for you, it's your old identity that is going. Why? Because the IC is your core. It's your ancestry. It's there's so much resolving now. There's so much of the old stuff of inherited from parents and grandparents, and it's like it's no longer use, and it's like there is this dissolvement when it comes to heaviness and patterns that has to do with emotions and that were not fulfilled. For you, it's really, really a very emotional release, and a lot of trauma that you had stored in your body that had to do with your family, you can release it now. Also, your connection with parents. There could be a shift in the life of a parent. But also an identity part of you that is dying. And it has to do with how you present yourself in the world, a job that you're doing. Maybe an identity you always had when it comes to work, Sun and Virgo in the 10th house, is like, I have to work hard and then I get the money. Maybe that is old-fashioned now. You say, no, I just do, I be. And actually, in that way, money comes even easier. It's that kind of vibe for you. Capricorn's the 3rd house. So this is happening in your 3rd house of communication, siblings, neighbors. So there could be neighbors going away. There could be shifts in the lives of your siblings happening. And it's a lot about the natural stuff, and that is really out of your control. And it's about releasing that energy, releasing. Maybe you had conflicts with neighbors or insecurities around siblings and neighbors. That is fading away. That is resolving and dissolving. On another level, the 3rd house is the way you communicate and think, the very logical stuff. It's like ready for a new way of thinking, and a new mindset as well, because the Sun in the 9th house is all about your mindset. There is, it has to go. Some of the old has to go and be ready for that new. You could also let go of an old website, for instance, or an old way of you doing your PR, The 3rd house is also computers and so on. It's a good time to say goodbye to an old computer that is, you're already having it for 10 years. It's time for a new one. That kind of energy. Aquarians, the 2nd house. So for you, it's a very good time to declutter. It's a very physical house, your finances, your assets, the things that you own, from a car to your clothes, to your books. Make it cleaning in it. It's going to give space for better stuff, better things that are suiting you better. It's also when you were very insecure about something. The 2nd house is the confidence house. That could be fading away because of circumstances and things that are shifting. So a very material way here, but at the same time, Neptune, especially Neptune in that 2nd house, is about detachment. And I've seen it many, many times when people detach from material stuff, and not in a way that, you don't need the material world. That's not what I'm saying. But detaching from, I need this, it's coming in. It's that kind of energy for you. And last but not least, Pisces. The whole intro is for you. You are shifting so much. I see so many Pisceans around me going through those phases. And it's in all areas of their life. It depends on your rising sign, of course, but some of them, they are leaving their jobs, others, they are leaving their homes for new homes, and there's already this new energy available, and they know it and they feel it natural. Pisceans, it is a very intuitive sign. So there's parts of you, and you are used to that because, you're kind of a chameleon, and you're used to shed off skin every now and then in a very natural way, that is, in a very flowing way. And you kind of go with the flow here now, and it's going to give you a lot of security because it shifts. It shifts. It's about a shift of the insecurity you had around yourself. And remember, you have that Saturn there in your sign opposing Mercury in your 7th. So you're going to get clear around relationships for sure. You're going to get better boundaries or setting them for sure. And I see that a lot with Pisceans. They, but still have the truthfulness of the Piscean of knowing that they have that trust. It's so incredible. And it's so beautiful that all Pisceans that I know have this. I mean, a strong emphasis of Pisces, whether it is your moon or your ascendant or your sun, they have that trust that all is well and that what happens and what they are going through, that makes them very resilient, that it needs to be that way. And it's the best for the whole. They understand that like no other. You're going to get rewards, dear Pisceans, for sure. And if you have planets around 25 degrees, for sure, you will feel this. Anyway, thank you so much. I forgot to say, it's the end of the video, but I forgot to say that I made a promotion page for the eclipses exclusively. I made it's 88 euros and it's a 15-minute reading. Me looking specifically at your chart, because this is, of course, very general. If you want to know, hey, Veerle, just look at that eclipse. And of course, I always look a little bit broader than that, but look at what's going on. What am I releasing? And what am I ready for? And I will tell you. I will tell you for sure. So click on the link below and go to my website if you're interested. If not, have a very, very good eclipse time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.